Hi everyone, welcome back to the Athlete Climate Academy podcast. And today, actually, I'm very excited to have with all of us Andrea Sinfreu. She's a young athlete from Andorra. She's been competing in ski mountaineering, and besides that, also doing a lot of different sports, all the mountain activities, skiing, running, cycling. And today we want to talk with Andrea about one thing that she did last summer. And I think it's pretty amazing because she started from her house in Andorra, and then she was actually doing the crossing of the Alps, I think, and then going all the way up to Norway, and then spending all the winter up there. But besides that, she was meeting a lot of people, learning and talking about climate change and all the environmental issues. So let's welcome Andrea to talk about that. So hi Andrea, how are you doing?
Hey, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you talking about this.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Andrea and I have a common pass on competition in ski mountaineering. And normally when we are in races, probably like the competitors, we are always talking about gear, about the training, about the competitions, the calendar, all these stuff. But it's cool to be here today talking more about adventures that they have a low carbon footprint and also about environmental. So first of all, can you tell us who you are and how you ended up doing this long bike travel?
Yeah, as you said, I used to be a competitor. I've been racing for many years in young categories in ski mountaineering and also trail running. But I've been always passionate about outdoor sports, not just racing, but also climbing, being just hiking and on the mountains. And last year I finished my studies I was studying in France, sports science, and I decided to stop racing a bit competition to do a project that I was also it was really interesting to me. It was combining adventure, sustainability, and traveling and sports. So I had this idea to do a bike trip. 2 years ago, I was doing another bike trip, a small one. Well, two. I crossed the Pyrenees from the Mediterranean Sea to the Atlantic coast, and also I crossed the Alps, the French Alps, and I saw that I really like to do this kind of adventures, like traveling just with your bike and some gear, and I decided to do a longer one to Norway.
It's a very, very long one. How many kilometers it was?
Yeah, it was about 6,900 kilometers in total and 90,000 meters of elevation.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. And so you spent probably a few months doing that, no? You started in the beginning of the summer?
Yeah, I started in the beginning of June until first days of September, so it was 3 months and some days cycling.
Yeah, and then you spent all the winter in Norway so it was a good way to travel to Norway. It probably took longer than taking a plane, but probably the experience was much more fulfilling.
Yeah, maybe it would have been easier to take the plane, but also I travel by bicycle because I like to travel like this slower. Like this, you can see all the landscapes. You meet people. You have the opportunity to really know more about the places you visit and not just arrive to a place and then do other things. Just knowing about everything.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. I think it's this slow traveling. At the end, you get more experiences and you get to know more the countries you visit. But also, I think during all the journey, you're also meeting people in different regions and talk about climate change and the environmental issues. I think you had a blog that you were publishing all these conversations you had with different people. what did you learn talking with all these people during the bike trip?
Yeah, it was especially the first part of the trip, the Alps crossing. I did this part with a friend from university. He's also a friend that he's really interested on environmental issues and climate change and all this. And he's also very sporty, so we decided to join these two passions like cycling and also this more activism on climate change. And we planned to to talk with some activists or national parks and also athletes that are involved on this. And we could do different activities. For example, in the Alps, or at the beginning in France, at the Natural Park of La Vanoise, we spent 2 nights in a mountain cabin with a group of people, with a school. So we were talking about our project with the young kids, and also showing them a bit how it's mountain life and how what nature is, so they can learn and then appreciate and respect nature. Also, we're talking with different national parks, and for example, in Chamonix, it's one of the places we can really see the impact of climate change on the glaciers and all this. So we were talking with the people from the mountain guides company, and they are saying that now the mountain guide, it's changing a lot because of this. There's a lot of routes that are now they are very dangerous, or it's impossible to go there. So it's really changing. So it's not just a thing in the mountains. It's affecting all of us, all the people that are working on the mountains, and also all the valley in general. Also, we're talking with some scientists at a lab in Chamonix, and they are saying that the species that they live there, they are going up, like maybe for about 40 meters or something like this in 10 years. So it's like, it's all going up on altitude, and there's a lot of things that are interesting, but also we were like trying to focus on the ways we can change things, like not just seeing the numbers or this, also how we can change. And we had an interesting conversation with Laetitia Roux, that she's also an athlete and also really involved on this. She has now a project called Be the Change, and we were interviewing her and like trying to find some what she's doing, because like on the sports industry, it's sometimes complicated when you have a sponsor, you have an enterprise that is giving you things. It's difficult to just think about climate change because also you are trying to live from sports. So she was telling us, for example, that with her sponsors, she's trying to say, okay, just give me the things that I really need. I don't need a new bicycle every year or new clothes every year, but trying to reduce this, use the essential things. And also for the enterprise, it's good to say that the material, the gear, it's like it lasts longer. It's not just you change your bike every 6 months and then it's just like trying to do things with sense, like you're not using things and then throwing like this.
Yeah, and you make a very important point. I think it's good to hear like the experts, like what they say about the problems. You mentioned the guides, and in the Alps it's crazy like how much the permafrost is affecting like the mountains and like the safety of all the people climbing and that. Or like you mentioned, like the biodiversity that it's changing is going higher and higher, the different species. But not only to focus on the problems, but to focus on the solutions and what we can do. And you as a young athlete, or like Leticia as an athlete that is in she had her career in the back. You are looking for the solutions and finding that. I think it's very important because we need to take action and to advance. And I think the outdoor industry, we are probably the ones that they are closer to nature, because we are there like training and skiing and cycling every day. But like in general, we aren't doing that good. Like in general, we travel a lot by car or by plane to go to places. And as you mentioned, like with the gear, like we spend a lot of money on gear, and we like to have the newest thing and to change it and to, yeah. I think it's a good point that you and Leticia were talking about, like having, yeah, just making things to last longer, and just especially for top athletes that at the end of the day, like they are kind of influencing a lot of people to share that with less things you can do more, and that you don't need the sponsors to give you something every year. But I think it's also hard sometimes to convince the sponsors on that. But you raise a very good an important point there. And besides that, like you are also like an athlete. You are pretty young, like you have your career ahead of you, and like from your perspective, like, because I feel like I'm 35, and I got this stress about, like, okay, we need to do something about the problems that we are facing, about the temperatures rising, or about like the loss of biodiversity, when I was like 30 years old. So kind of like I didn't feel this stress before. And how do you see like you as an athlete and facing like all these problems that we have ahead, and your generation in general? How do you see that if athletes, young athletes, are looking different, if they are more concerned about the environmental issues, and are you like optimistic or more like stress and with more anxiety about the future?
Well, it's true that it's like maybe sometimes it can cause anxiety in this to think about this. And well, right now, I've always been like interested in these topics, and apart like training and this, I've been always like reading a lot about this and being interested. And it's a thing that also it's difficult to deal with, because like sports, it's what involves a lot of things like transports and gear and this, and it's sometimes difficult to combine both, being at a high level or like not just going for a trekking or something. So well, right now I'm not racing that much. Maybe I'm doing more adventures like this, in bike trips or local adventures or projects. But it's true that I think like people are aware of that, but sometimes it's difficult to find the solution. Like you have a lot of my new gear you want to have. Also, if you have the opportunity to have a sponsor, usually people don't say no, like even if you like, it's not thinking about this. And it's also a thing that was stressing me a lot about this, like kind of elite sport and this. And if I start doing competitions again, like this year I've not been racing, but I would like to do it in a more maybe conscious way, like not just taking all the gear I have, like trying to have the minimum things, but the good things, of course, and then like trying to choose the races I am doing, and not doing like one race in each continent like moving by plane all days, but choosing the right races. Then maybe it's difficult if you want to race in like World Cups and this, because you have the calendar, you have to follow it. But well, I'm concerned, and I think like a lot of people my age and this are concerned, but maybe there's this last step missing, like trying to really do like some activism and change things. Like as Laetitia said, like to talk with the brand, your sponsor, and say, okay, I need you to just like change the things, produce the things that we really need, and not just produce like this. And it's this, but it's like maybe it's this little step that it's missing. But I think people are concerned, and especially people on the mountains, that we are training every day outside, and we can see the consequences, especially during the winter, like the lack of snow for ski mountaineering and this. So people see it, and then it's just trying to change a little bit what is missing.
Yeah, I think it's hard at the end, like this small step, and especially think like when you are starting your career or when you are young, like to just like go and talk with the sponsors about these things, or like go and push the federations to have circuits that they are more like that they demand less traveling, and I think probably that's. We are putting a lot of responsibility in the young athletes at the end, but it's from us. I think like the older athletes and also like all the deciders, so like the people in the federations or the people in the brands to make that step. So then the athletes don't need to be the ones to make the choices, but they find that they can combine the career with a more environmental friendly lifestyle. And you had done this long travel. You mentioned that it was like 3 months biking, and that's amazing. But it's not a lot of people that have 3 months to do that. You mentioned that you did it when you finished the university, and you mentioned that you are doing a lot of like home trips biking. Do you think we need to go far to have adventures, or if it's possible to just like do like big adventures from home?
No, this is what I like to always say, that now I did this project because I had time and I had this interest to go to Norway and spend 1 year there. But people can do some adventures by bike or running or other kind of sports close to home. Well, I'm lucky I'm here in the Pyrenees in Andorra, so it's easy to go to the mountains and to have a really big playground just from your house. But I think many people can try to search for some challenges, some adventures close to their house, or even if they can travel a bit by train or like to a point and then do some trips. Like this summer, for example, I will spend the summer here at home, so I will try to do some challenges, maybe some short bike trips like with a minimum gear. You do like 2 or 3 nights in the Pyrenees. Like you have many valleys you can discover, and of course, even if I've been living here for all my life, there's a lot of valleys, a lot of summits, a lot of places you don't know. So there's always places to discover, and like the traveling by bike is not just like for people that are super fit or they have been doing this all their lives. There's people that start, and you can start in a flat region. You don't need to go to cross the Alps and do 2,000 meters per day or more. You can do a flat trip at your hometown or at the coast, and you are not forced to do 100 kilometers per day. You can do 20 kilometers, stop, or wherever you want. And it's this what I like about cycling, that you can do whatever you want. It's like you're on the bike and you can choose. Okay, I want to stop here because I've seen something, a lake that I like. I want to do some photography, or to stop here to talk with someone. So you have the freedom to, okay, I stop here, I sleep here because I like it. You have your tent, and it's not just like I have to go here. It's like more freedom, and you are not forced to do anything. It's like for all the levels, I think.
Yeah, I think that's something good with or great with biking, is that it's for everybody, as you mentioned, and it's not only about the sport, but it's about like a transport mean. It's like you can bike to work, you can bike to visit friends, you can bike to do a road trip. So it's like really using more the bike for transportation, and also like when traveling and visiting places. And just to finish, like what do you want to do in the future? How do you see yourself in the next years?
Well, now I'm working a bit in the mountains. I also have the title as a mountain guide, so I'm doing some trekkings and this with people as a job. And also like I would like to continue traveling like this, like by bike or doing other projects. I don't know if I will continue racing or not, maybe with another approach, like some races that I really like to do. But of course, I think I will be outdoors. I have some ideas of projects, like maybe crossing something like by bike or skis or others. and I would like to continue doing that. And if I can like do these projects, but also not just a sport project, but also talking with people about climate change or about others, about society, meeting people, it's what I like, finally, to understand people, like different places, to meet new cultures and this. So I don't know. I hope I will be able to be doing this outdoors and then continue enjoying mountains, racing or not, but always outdoors.
Yeah, that's great, and I'm sure you will have a lot of adventures ahead. And before finishing, how do people can like follow your journey or like the travel you did in the Alps to Norway? What's the easiest way to follow you?
Well, I was publishing on my Instagram account is Andrea Sinfreu. We had one with my friend. It's Alpine Hummingbird, the name of the project, and it's AHDB Right on Instagram. I will send you the links if you want to put them. And then I've been posting on Komoot, a website for all the tracks of every day on the bike, with some pictures and also a short comment about the day. And it's this. I will send you the links if you want to put them.
Yeah, great. We will have the links in the notes of the podcast. And Andrea, thank you very much for your time to explain these adventures and to be showing like a way of traveling that it's more responsible and also like taking the time to learn and to experience more like what are the changes that we are facing, but most of that, what are the solutions that we should be seeking. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's really interesting to be here, and also like I travel for me to learn, but especially to share with people and try to find a solution that we can all do to change the things.